Grew up in Dallas. Family's originally from Dallas. I was adopted when I was born. I never really met my birth father. I met my birth mother a few times, and I've known her for a while. And I've been asked this, like, do you ever want to do like the 23andMe thing? And I never really have. It never really like was something that I struggled with. I really kind of just knew my mom and my dad, who adopted me as my real parents. So it never really, I never really had that, I guess, instinctual desire to look up and see who my father was. I could probably really resonate with some clients on not really maybe searching for their identity, because I know a lot of times, especially when I was in my teens and early 20s, I was more or less not really sure about who I was. I have much better like grasp on it now as I've kind of gotten older, and I found out like what I really enjoy, like who the people I really enjoy to be around. But for the most part, I've always really felt connected to the parents that did adopt me. So I did a lot of sports when I was younger. That's kind of how I met most of my friends. Some of my friends that I still have are from those like high school sports teams. My adopted mom died when I was 9, and she had passed away due to cancer. So then I went to this grief support group when I was 9, and I think I stayed there till a little bit before my 11th birthday. I felt like there was an obligation of mine to kind of give back to some degree, which is why I primarily started working in oncology, which was to kind of like help steward those cancer patients on through whatever they may be dealing with, whether that be end of life or grief or feelings of burden or guilt. I was working with this couple, and they had, up until the patient's recent cancer diagnosis, they were a very strong family unit. They had 3 children. The children were in a very loving family. Everything was going very well. Unfortunately, cancer did come, which then had its repercussions. The patient ended up just being exhausted all day. They had fears of end of life. And it was the husband that was really in denial. They were really in denial, and they were struggling to kind of comprehend some of the conversations about death, about the funeral, about remarrying, stuff he just did not want to approach at that time. So during the conversations, it was great to see after a few sessions him kind of be a little bit more open to having those conversations. He never, as far as the patient's feedback goes, he had never really shown that before. So it was great to see him kind of like be willing to have these conversations and be emotional while having them, instead of trying to just see them as like a checklist. And so it was kind of a turning of perspective for him that really made me proud of him during the session. I volunteer on the side at the Warm Place in Fort Worth, which is a grief support group. I do a lot with like teens and preteens, and those are really, that's just a lot of fun for me, comes out of those sessions. I don't know if it's just kind of the conversations that are had, or just kind of seeing maybe a younger adult or a child kind of make a breakthrough that they really resonate with. The best thing about counseling is that you have someone that's unbiased, that's willing to just sit with you in the moment and feel whatever you want to feel, say and talk with you about what it is that is troubling you at that time. Not everyone really has that, and even when they do have that, maybe they feel like they're burdening their loved ones or their friends when they are doing that. So to know that they have someone that they can come to no matter what, and it's always going to be about something that they want to approach, either fix, change, or process. They have someone that they can kind of lean on